Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prem Prakash, Ravidas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji,
हरे
Dandavat Pranam
कृष्ण माता जी,
Mataji.
दादा प्रणाम माता जी।
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam Mataji.
Indra Pranam.
Hare
Hare
Krishna Mataji,
Krishna.
Dandavad Pranam.
Indra Pranam. Okay, I guess we can start and have a quick class.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Indra Pranam, Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jyaudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter 3,
15.
verse number 15 today, right?
Right, Mataji. 15.
Okay, thank you. Okay, whoever wants to read the verse could please raise your hand. Madhumai Krishna Kant Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeduha Vava Tava Punarad Adabra Kartariha Samahutas Tatra Artadhiyam Mandanam Nastatyat Devahelanam Devadevarhasi Samyena Sarvan Prativodhum Avidusham. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Prafulla Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। यद युवा तव पुनर अदब्र कर्तर इह समाहूतस् तत्र था धियं वन्दनां नस्तदयद् तव देव हेलनं देव देवर्षिः साम्येन सर्वं प्रतिबोधुम् अधिदुषां। हरे कृष्ण माता। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Anjali Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण। यदुह भावतः पुनः अदभ्रकर्त इह समाहुतः तत्र अर्थ धियाम वन्दनाम् न तद्यदेव हेलनं देवदेवा अर्हसि सामयेन सर्वान् प्रतिबोधुम् आवेदक्षाम्। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Chitra Mohini Mataji. Chitra Mohini Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी।
Hare
ओम
Krishna.
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। यदुहा वावतव अदभ्रकर्तर इह समभूतस्तथा अर्थधिया मन्दानां नस्ततध्यद्दिरेव हेलनं देवदेवाहरसि सामेन्य सर्वान् प्रतिगूढम् ऊढुं विदुषाम्। हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Shubha Rao Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam.
Indra Pranam, Krishna.
Yeduhava Tava Punaradabhrakartariha Samahutas-tatrardhadhiyam Mandanam Nastadyadhena Helanam Devadevarhasi Samyena Sarvan Prativodhuma Vidusham. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yat, because, uha vava, indeed, tava, your, punaha, again, adhabra kartaha, O Lord who perform many activities. Iha, here in this arena of sacrifice. Samahutaha, invited, tatra, therefore, arthadhiyam, who aspire to fulfill material desires. Mandanam, not very intelligent, naha, of us, tat, that, yat, which, deva helanam, disrespect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, deva deva, Lord of Lords, arhasi, please, samyena, because of your equipoise position, sarvan, everything, prativodhum, tolerate, abhidusham, of us who are all ignorant. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Lord, you perform many wonderful activities. Our only aim was to acquire a son by performing this great sacrifice. Therefore, our intelligence is not very sharp. We are not experienced in ascertaining life's goal. By inviting you to this negligible sacrifice for some material motive, we have certainly committed a great offense at your lotus feet. Therefore, O Lord of Lords, please excuse our offense because of your causeless mercy and equal mind. Purport by His Divine Grace Prabhupada ki jai. The priests were certainly unhappy to have called the Supreme Lord from Vaikuntha for such an insignificant reason. A pure devotee never wants to see the Lord unnecessarily. The Lord is engaged in various activities, and the pure devotee does not want to see him whimsically for his own sense gratification. The pure devotee simply depends on the Lord's mercy. And when the Lord is pleased, he can see him face to face. The Lord is unseen even by demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. By calling on the Supreme Lord, the priests of Nabhi Maharaj proved themselves unintelligent. Nonetheless, the Lord came out of his causeless mercy. All of them therefore wanted to be excused by the Lord. Worship of the Supreme Lord for material gain is not approved by authorities as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:16. Chaturvidha bhajante mam janah sukritino arjunah artho jigyasur artharthi gyani cha bharatashrabha. O best among the Bharats, Arjun, 4 kinds of pious men render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. Initiation into bhakti begins when one is in a distressed condition or in want of money, or when one is inquisitive to understand the absolute truth. Nonetheless, people who approach the Supreme Lord in this way are not actually devotees. They are accepted as pious, Sukritinaha, due to their inquiring about the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not knowing the various activities and engagements of the Lord. Such people unnecessarily disturb the Lord for material gain. However, the Lord is so kind that even though disturbed, he fulfills the desires of such beggars. The pure devotee is Anya Abhilashita Shunya. He has no motive behind his worship. He is not conducted by the influence of Maya in the form of karma or gyan. The pure devotee is always prepared to execute the order of the Lord without personal consideration. The Rit Vijaha, the priests at the sacrifice, knew very well the distinction between karma and bhakti. And because they considered themselves under the influence of karma, fruitive activity, they begged the Lord's pardon. They knew that the Lord had been invited to come for some paltry reason. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjan Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastute Taptakanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanuste Devi Pranamami Haripriye. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमाम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. O Lord, you perform many wonderful activities. Our only aim was to acquire a son by performing this great sacrifice. Therefore, our intelligence is not very sharp. We are not experienced in ascertaining life's goal. By inviting you to this negligible sacrifice for some material motive, we have certainly committed a great offense at your lotus feet. Therefore, O Lord of Lords, please excuse our offense because of your causeless mercy and equal mind. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, the creative impetus. Chapter 3. What is the name? Do you still remember the name of the chapter?
Appearance in the womb of
Parents of Rishabhadeva in the womb of
King Nabhi.
Meru Devi, wife of King Navi.
King Nabhi. Very nice. Thank you. Basically, in short, the chapter is about the appearance of Rishabdev. Like what was the conditions in which Rishabdev was invited to appear in the family of King Priyavrat. So, who is King Nabhi? Who's King Nabi? He's the son of, go back a little, son of
Agnidhra,
Agnidhar. Who is the son of
Priyavrata,
Priyabrata,
Priyavrata? Who is the son of?
Swayambhuva Manu,
Swambhu Manu.
Manu.
Very nice. And Swayambhu Manu approached Priyavrat because what happened? Priyavrat Maharaj was approached by Swayambhu Manu and then later by Brahma to accept the Grihastha life because what happened?
He wanted him to take over the reigning of the kingdom.
Yeah. Who was the son of Prachetas? Who did not carry out the
Yeah.
kingdom?
Three persons.
Daksha,
Daksha. So Daksha who had taken the rebirth. So he was not interested in ruling in this birth. So Swayambhu Manu had no one. So he approached his second son who was very busy in doing austerities and penance to acquire Krishna consciousness. And then he came and then Priyavrat Maharaj gave birth. From Priyavrat Maharaj came Agnidhar. Agnidhar was ruling which island? Which island was he ruling?
Jambudvipa,
Jambudvipa.
Jambudipa.
Jambudvipa. Very nice. So in that way, he is now we are at the generation where Maharaj Nabhi is desiring to have a son, but he wants to have a son like Vishnu. So he actually now makes the paraphernalia, consults, very expressive about his desire. He's not hiding it. He consults the priest of his kingdom, and the priest advise that we must do the sacrifice for pleasing Lord Vishnu, so your desire can be fulfilled. So the sacrifice was performed with the help of his wife, Meru Devi, in the assembly, in the ceremony, and then Lord Vishnu appeared. And when Lord Vishnu appeared, it appears, now this can be an extrapolated understanding, but it appears that maybe the priests were not pure in the beginning, but now after seeing Krishna, the darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has brought about the change in the heart, and they are able to look at the shortcomings in their worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then they're saying, Krishna, we unnecessarily disturbed you. We're actually supposed to serve you. We have unnecessarily disturbed you by calling upon you to come and satisfy our material desires. You can give. What do they say, Krishna? What can you give? You can give what? What is the example that's given that you read with Prakash Adas Prabhu? Asking you for son is like asking a rich man for
A little grain.
green,
For a little grain.
Yeah, a rich man can give so many things. You're asking just like little grain. So Krishna can give pure bhakti, no? And pure bhakti fulfills all needs. I was thinking today, now you tell me, I was thinking today, out of the spiritual needs, in conditional situation, we have the spiritual needs and material needs, right? Everybody agrees because Bhagavad Gita says that too. So out of the spiritual needs and material needs, what needs must take the priority? Out of the spiritual needs of our conditioned state and the material needs of our conditioned state, which needs are more superior? Which needs must take priority?
Spiritual needs. Superior.
The spiritual needs, right? Spiritual. How do I say that? What is the evidence? The evidence which I can think, if you think of some other evidence, you let me know, is that the regulation in which our day is divided, as given by the acharyas, is first begin the day by fulfilling your spiritual obligations. Right? The regulation is such of spending a day in a human form of life. Our schedule is given, and then 8 hours to be given for material needs, right? And then 6 hours for sleep. So the remaining 10 hours basically for spiritual. At least spiritual activities have to be done in 10 hours. But are we doing it? if that we say, and inside there is this understanding, or there is this hope, or there is this awareness that if I become a devotee of Krishna, all my needs will be fulfilled. Yeah, do you have this notion, a very silent, meek voice within you? If I become a pure devotee of Krishna, all my needs will be taken care of. I don't need to, water the leaves or twigs or flowers, because I'm going to water the root of my existence. Do you have this notion within you? Am I audible or no?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Is there, right? And then we have evidence that in our acharyas, they prioritize fulfilling the spiritual needs. They prioritized it. We look at any acharya. You look at Srila Prabhupada, you look at Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, or Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, or Jagannath Das Babaji. So they gave priority to meet the spiritual obligations first in a human form of life. So if we do that, then we will not bother Krishna. Like in this particular pastime, this is like they're saying it, right? It's like we have bothered you. We are not experienced in a certain our only aim to so we are not experienced in a certain life's goal. By inviting you to this negligible sacrifice for some material motive, we have committed a great offense at your lotus feet. So it's like, we're already bothered. So we will not bother Krishna. I mean, Krishna loves the soul so much, like that he probably will not feel bothered. But we also have an obligation. For example, in a relationship of a parent and a child, the child may put so many demands. Give me clothes, give me shoes, give me food, give me money, give me, like there's a list, right? Always at every age, give me, just keep giving me. The parent will give, and they may not feel bothered by the demands of the child out of the love. But at certain age, the child also needs to realize that I must, not bother my parents for menial needs anymore. I have to take responsibility. Yeah, we all go through that phases in our life. Did you go through that phase? Okay, I must not bother my parents. And now I have to take care of my own needs and take care of them actually. Did you go through that cycle in your life? Or
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
We call it
Mataji.
maturity.
What do you call it, Prem Prakash Adas Prabhu?
Maturity.
Maturity, okay, okay. You see, like similarly, Krishna out of the love, like a parent out of the love will give it to the child. Krishna out of the love will come, because it's the whole arrangement is also for satisfying Krishna. The whole invocation is to call Krishna. So Krishna will come, but now we have to understand that, is this really why I call Krishna, and bothered him? There's got to be some sense of awareness, self-awareness, that this is not a very intelligent action. So we're unintelligent. The Prabhupada is using the word that by doing this sacrifice, they prove, by calling on the Supreme Lord, the priests of Nabi Maharaj proved themselves unintelligent. Nonetheless, the Lord came out of his causeless mercy. So all of them wanted to be excused by the Lord. So this happens to a conditioned soul all the time. So don't be surprised that our consciousness is sometimes taken over by our material desires so much. So much that actually sometimes we actually jeopardize our practice of Krishna consciousness to meet the material needs. We jeopardize. I'll give you an example. If somebody has, this is a very common example, and then I'll give you another example. If somebody has a desire to get married, so they are so absorbed in the idea of finding a Krishna conscious partner, a husband or a wife, whatever the case may be, I have seen sometimes that, the whole absorption, forget about reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Let me look at some devotees who are willing to get considered married. So, you see that gets so absorbed. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. This is just an observation that, and then, and then we have to think, where are we going? Where are we going with our objective? Sometimes, like, okay, we say that, okay, let me procrastinate my chanting of the rounds later. Let me finish uh, this first, this particular obligation in the house first. Let me catch some half an hour of more sleep. It's a holiday today and I worked all week. Let me have some self-compassion time by giving myself some rest. Okay, if somebody is sick, Prabhupada has given that provision. Somebody's body is sick, then they need to rest. It's like a no-brainer. But to give oneself compassion just because somebody worked like so hard during the week and then get up late to chant, so that's where we are not proving ourselves intelligent. Okay, and then that leads to automatically the exhibition of material desires. It's like, have you seen a toy of children where they have like this toy hammer and then they pop it? Like when they pop at one place, the head of an animal comes out of the other end, and then they pop at this place, the another animal pops up at another place. Have you seen such a toy? I mean, I work as a
Yes.
pediatrician, so I know probably more toys than you all do, but have you seen it, or can you relate to what I'm saying?
Yes,
It's like a
yes,
toy.
Yes, Mataji.
yes.
Yes, Mataji.
Like you like hammer it down one place, the
Yeah.
animal comes out from the other side, and then you hammer there, then comes out from another. It's like, children play with that. So it's like that. It's like that. If I give example, that okay, we are able to bypass, or we are able to tolerate material urge by, putting priority of the to the spiritual activity in my life, or someday, then that day is okay. Otherwise, whole day this is going on. Let me procrastinate this, so one desire pops up, and then you to suppress or tolerate that, then another one pops up, then you suppress and does that, pops up. It's like popping up. Today somebody was telling me that when they meditate. I was talking to someone. They said they meditate, and when they meditate, it doesn't, some the things come up from earlier in the life which have no connection to my meditation at the present moment. He said, like, for example, this came up like 30 years ago. I was standing here and this thing happened and this person came, but I was trying to meditate. Then he asked me, what makes this happen? This has happened to us all the time when we are chanting Hare Krishna. Random things come up in our consciousness which have no connection to what we are trying to do. Random talks, random things which we thought didn't even exist in our consciousness come out during the chanting of Hare Krishna. And this person was telling me that comes up for him when he's meditating. So I remember Prabhupada saying that there are so many desires in the subtle body. It's like bubbles. And Prabhupada gives example of a bubble. That sometimes the bubble comes to the surface and it pops. Like that, this memory comes to the surface and it just explodes and makes itself known. So that made me think that which desire should be given the priority, the spiritual nurturing or the material nurturing. And that will define how well are we going to progress in our Krishna consciousness, or are we going to still become devotees, because we are chanting Hare Krishna. So once you chant Hare Krishna and keep on chanting Hare Krishna, there's no going back. That's for sure, because Prabhupada says that. But then the going back, now what speed we are going to go is kind of in our hand, because now we can decide whether I want to become a devotee of Krishna and serve Krishna, or I want to become a devotee of Krishna so Krishna can serve me. Okay, there's a very, very big statement in the world that goes around. If God wants, then the God will reveal itself to me. If he doesn't want, then I'll never see God. Have you heard this? If God wants, have you heard this statement, or I'm the only one who has heard it? If God wants, then the God will reveal himself to me anyway. If he doesn't want, then I'll not get his darshan. Have you heard this statement?
Yes, Mataji.
One person has heard it. Okay. So
Kunti
see,
Mata's prayers.
huh?
Kunti Mata's prayers. Adokshajan.
No, it's like a common man saying, if what can I do? Nothing is in my hand. If God wants, then only he'll become visible to my eyes. If he doesn't want, I'll never be able to see him. Yeah, we can say Kumari Kunti also prays like that, but I'm talking about like a more general statement from a person who is not putting in any conscious effort to become Krishna conscious. You know, saying, okay, my work is my worship, my family is my temple, and this is how I'm going to lead my life. So that's like we are approaching Krishna with a list of with a list of desires, shopping list. But if we can approach Krishna with a service list, how can I serve you, Krishna? That will change one's consciousness, and that will put us on the straight line. Otherwise, Krishna will still come and we will become pure like the priests have become. But it'll just be a little bit more time. We have a program in our hand where we can pass the exam fast track. No, fast track. Everybody likes to go fast track path, right? When I was coming back from Delhi in January, I saw at the airport there's something called Digi Yatra. Yeah, it's like you download Digi Yatra, you don't have to go through a big line for check-ins. Have you heard of it at the airport?
Yes, it
Oh,
is
yeah, I'm
implemented.
telling you.
Yes,
It is implemented in India.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in Delhi this thing, yeah.
Many
So
airports.
yeah, so Digi Yatra, there was like a big advertisement that there's these lounges, and then you can just bypass the line. In US, it's called, if you have like a TDS, some sort of ID. So then you don't have to go through so big line, and custom clearance will be very quick. So I was saying, okay, everybody likes to have fast track. Can you get my work done sooner than anybody else? So like that, we have this fast track method in our hand to go back to Krishna. It's very fast track. It is the fastest of all the yugas. We have the fastest method and the most smooth method, not requiring big arrangements or riches. Anybody can do it, but we lack attraction for the most attractive. That's the problem. We lack attraction for the most attractive, and we should figure out that what is it in me that is prohibiting me from increasing my attraction for the most attractive personality out there. How can I strengthen my faith? How can I use my life to the fullest and not get succumbed and weighed down by the unfulfilled material desires? Material desires, unless and until they're spiritualized, they weigh a conditioned soul down. They never bring us up. They weigh us down. For example, if somebody has a desire to have a big house, okay, then they have to work very hard to get that money. Money will not come easy. Even if somebody is a millionaire or a billionaire, they are working very hard. They are putting in a lot of effort. They're putting in a lot of time and intelligence to get that money into their circulation and not let it slip out of their hands. So one has to work very hard. And then by Krishna's arrangement, if somebody acquires that money, then one has to find out the resources, and then one has to find out the resources to build the house. Also has to nurture, or has to live with the anxiety that the money may not go away. You see, Lakshmi is chanchal, right? Money may not go away. So, and then one builds the big house. Now the problem is, how are we going to maintain it? The natural calamities can destroy, or our enemies can destroy. Now then has to be like a fireproof, earthquake proof, thunderstorm proof, nuclear bomb proof, this proof, that proof, or any coronavirus proof. whatever proof, and so that you see, they weigh us down. There's no end. There's no end to all these desires, because one desire leads to another, another leads to another, another leads to another. And even if somebody is standing in front of such a big mansion, don't think that their heart is filled with happiness. I'm not saying it, Krishna is saying it. Dukkha yonaya evate. The source of misery will give birth to source of happiness. Source of happiness will give birth to source of misery. So I'm not saying that don't try to have it or suppress your desire or repress if you have a desire like that. But understand, unless and until we spiritualize that desire, it is only going to make me fall into another blind well. And how do we understand and then actually execute it in our life is by associating with the devotees. Don't minimize the association of devotees. Association of devotees can actually uplift us. Material desires weigh us down. And when one feels weighed down, then one feels very heavy, very stuck in material turmoil, feels very lonely. All these things are coming from mode of ignorance, mode of passion. Gives birth to lust, right? And the lust, if not fulfilled, gives birth to anger and frustration, and that comes in the mode of ignorance. So all these, all the feelings that we have are affected by what mode is more prominent in our consciousness at the time. So the mode of passion can be converted to mode of goodness, and the mode of goodness can be converted to mode of pure goodness, depending on what we are doing with our desires. Okay, so here these priests are very well aware that they have disturbed Krishna. Now, for us, the lesson is that where are the points where we are disturbing Krishna? And what are these things that we need to work on so we don't disturb Krishna? At the same time, we don't go against our psychophysical nature as well. Beware of that. Don't try to act it out. It has to be authentic. Okay, if somebody has some material desire, yes, Krishna has given this sanction that still come to me, don't go anywhere else. But then out of the four kind of people, if we really want to stick around, these four kind of people, Janaha, Sukritina, Arjuna, Artho, desire of the wealth, Jignasu, inquisitive, Artharthi. Artharthi is the desire of the wealth, and Artho is distressed. Jnani, Jigyasu inquisitive, Jnani is one who is searching for the knowledge. So which category are we fitting in? Which category? Okay, even if somebody is approaching Krishna from being in a distressful condition, then just be aware and remember that this is why I came to Krishna, and my distress is now removed. Now I must still continue. Not that, okay, I'm going to wait until next distress comes and then I come to Krishna. I was telling this to some person the other day that most of us are leading life in emergency mode. Now we activate our resources, our intelligence when there's an emergency. Okay, now there's an emergency, I need to address this in my life. Or there's like distress. And then when the distress is calmed down, then comes the resting phase until next emergency comes. So unless we learn the lesson that what makes these emergencies after emergencies are coming in my life, we will never hit a maintenance phase of our existence. And the maintenance phase of existence is mode of goodness, which means that I'm giving priority to my spiritual existence more than any other existence. Okay, we need to practice Krishna consciousness so we cannot get succumbed in an emergency situation in our life. Also practice Krishna consciousness to understand that am I bothering Krishna or am I serving Krishna? And if I'm bothering Krishna, then be frank and tell Krishna I'm bothering you. I am getting inflicted by these desires and I don't know what to do. I am in need of help because my mind is not going to help me because that's where these desires are coming from. So help me, please, Krishna. Send me some help. Okay, also remember, once the desires are fulfilled, don't forget Krishna. Stick around with Krishna. Go more deep in your Krishna consciousness. And also remember that we have the fastest or the fast track methods to go back home in this lifespan. Other yugas, very difficult, very elaborate procedure. This yuga, no problem. Just chant Hare Krishna, become a devotee and go. But chant Hare Krishna. Associate with devotees. Okay, any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections? Am I audible? Not audible?
Audible, Mother.
Okay. Thank